Alright, so this is going to be another DVD review. This one's called Amarcord Disc 2, the supplements. This is the bonus disc to Amarcord. I first saw Amarcord 5 years ago at Castro Theater, and I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a great movie, other than that stupid socialist dude playing his records in the public square. I don't know what that was for. So this disc, I hate it. I gave it 1 star. I thought it was a waste of time. Other than the Criterion cleanup of film damage since 1973, that was interesting. But the rest of it was just nonsense. Um, so they talked to family, friends, actors, and even Fellini himself. Um, and they play photos while they're talking to these people. It's completely boring, especially the Fellini interview. Um, why did I hate this disc? Well, there are many reasons. These Italian people, they seem to have a bad habit of contradicting themselves. In particular, this one guy keeps saying that Fellini was apolitical. He never liked to discuss politics, and he hated fascism. Well, isn't that kind of self-contradictory? If you hate a political philosophy, that makes you apolitical? I don't understand. Maybe it got lost in translation. I don't know, but then he goes on to talk about the socialist dude. Why did Fellini use his great imagination to put a socialist dude in this film, like the 1% of the Italian population probably at that time? A great analogy to that would be in today's America, we've got the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats would be the Socialist Party, and the Republicans would be the Fascist Party, I suppose. And then they go on and say that Fellini liked certain politicians. So if he liked certain politicians, that makes him apolitical. I'm not sure what happened after he became a teenager, but obviously his political views changed or something happened that wasn't quite clear. So that part I didn't like. They also used the ad populum fallacy in this. They say, "Oh, Amarcord was a great movie because everybody in the world loved it. Not only the moviegoers, but the critics as well." And then they use that same damn argument again to say that everybody in Italy, except for maybe one odd person, one odd socialist, was into fascism during the 30s. Okay, so what's your point? It was popular, so what? Um, they pretty much kicked Mussolini's head in during the war, so my how quickly things change. Um, or after the war, I don't mean during the war. After the war, they hung him upside down and kicked his head in. That's a great video to watch on YouTube, by the way. So there's that. There's the stupid political discussion. There's the ad populum fallacy, and even worse, there's the cult worship of Fellini himself. I mean, all these stupid Italian people, especially in Rimini, his hometown. They showed up at his funeral. They worship him. They even bought a beat-up house for him on the beach or something that he didn't even want. So, what is all this stuff? I mean, instead of making the film Idiocracy, they could have just done a sort of I don't know, documentary on Italy during the past 50 years or so, and that would serve as adequate replacement for the film Idiocracy. I mean, look at Italy today; they're practically bankrupt, and I blame the Italian people mostly for worshiping this fat slob, who's not very talented, by the way. I don't think he's a great director. As good, I like Pasolini better actually. And I've seen a lot of Fellini's films. I like his early stuff, like I've Vitelloni, La Strada. I hated Il Badoni. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hated La Dolce Vita. Um, Knights of Cabiria was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. Same as Amarcord and The White Sheik. I gave those 4 stars. His other movies were pretty much mediocre or they sucked. I haven't seen Variety Lights or Boccaccio 70. So, although I've seen a lot of his movies, I'm still missing about 6 or 7 that I haven't seen. And by the way, Fellini's filmography is not very impressive. I mean, there are a lot of gaps in between. For instance, from 74 to 79, he did nothing. From 65 to 68, nothing. So as far as I can tell, looking at his filmography on Netflix, I think actually the guy who did Suspiria, what's his name? The guy with the funny hairdo, that Dario Argento, is more of a prolific filmmaker than Fellini. Certainly, that gay communist guy, Pasolini, is better, in my opinion. And in terms of film quality, I mean, in terms of filmography, I think Dario Argento is more impressive. And the other thing that I hated about this is they just go on and on about his childhood, all of his shenanigans when he was growing up as a teenage boy. I mean, who cares? Every teenage boy goes through that, even in 1930s Italy. I mean, big deal. They talk about his fat, short girlfriend. Again, I didn't care too much for her opinion on anything. I didn't care about his friends, his mother, or his sister. I didn't care. I didn't care about that whole damn town. And they got rid of fascism. Woohoo! Now they got communist hell, bankruptcy, and bankrupt government. So, yeah, there you go. That's my opinion of the Italian people. That's my opinion of Fellini. Not very. He's not. He calls himself an artist, and he even talks about. He even makes it more confusing. His English is very broken. I mean, it's terrible. It's like my Spanish. So I don't know if that's the problem. He calls the interviewer a madman, and at one point he starts talking nonsense. Like the interviewer asks him the simple question: Is this film reflect reality? And he says, relative to what? So right there, you know that he's a relativist, and he doesn't know how to answer a simple question. Then he talks about magnetic forces and other weird stuff like being in tune with the universe. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, New Age stuff. So that was annoying. So overall, I gave this one star. I hated it. And to the Italian people, um, I give you this. Fellini is not a great director. Just because you say he's an art house director and he's popular, doesn't make him a great director. And like I say, I like a couple of his older movies from the 50s, but the rest of his stuff is pretty much mediocre in my opinion. So this disc was a total waste of time for me. Bye.